Here we go again. South Dakota weather challenges the hardiest hunters. Good thing Cannon River Ranch's birds are flying. Nice shot.
The Flush, presented by Federal Premium Ammunition and Pheasants Forever.
Should we throw that kind of stuff in the bag? Sure.
You know, it's funny.
Next stop, South Dakota.
Seems like this season, South Dakota might just have our number.
Well, this seems like a great spot to camp. We've got wind coming.
I mean, think about it. Our first trip to Chamberlain ended on the banks of the Missouri River.
I just think we got wind coming tomorrow. We just got to make sure this puppy is not in Missouri.
A great spot to camp and hunt, right? Maybe. Well, until this happened.
The wind just grinds you. It's like, seriously, 2 days straight. Give us a break. She's an ornery river today.
Wind gusts close to 40 miles per hour made our hunt along the river darn near impossible. When we did finally find a safe spot to tuck against shore,
Rooster.
Right in my lap.
roosters rode the breeze away.
That was a 6-shot bird right there.
You got it all on tape too, didn't you?
Of course I did.
Well, hey, what are you going to do about it?
Yep, that sums up our Chamberlain adventure. So, we decide to go back to South Dakota, this time in early December. And heck, what could possibly go wrong? Murphy's Law. We head west to a spot just south of Miller, through slowly deteriorating weather. Our team visits High Plains Pheasant Hunting Camp every December. It looks like Ron and Raven beat us in. Is that Ron's new dog? No. Raven is still Ron's favorite. It's time for today's first Purina Power Card. Raven is an 8-year-old black Labrador Retriever. That dog loves to hunt pheasants and has a real knack for finding any downed bird. Retrieving is simply in her DNA.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to High Plains Pheasant Hunting.
Dale Soon runs High Plains,
Watch your terrain.
and he lives for pheasant hunting season.
The best thing is meeting the people, getting acquainted with them. It's just like a new friend, a friend coming to see you every year and stuff. So it's really great.
Today, once again, we wrestle weather.
Absolutely.
Thanks for the free scrape, Jesse.
Hey, Izzy, here.
Before every hunt,
Get spread out across and get it covered.
Dale directs the troops.
Keep our line straight.
It's a big line. We've got 16 friends along. Dale's got work ahead.
Holy cow. So the snow sleet hunt begins. Forecast today, gusts to 40 miles an hour. Sleet turning to snow. What could possibly go wrong?
Monday was probably one of the nastiest days going, right? I mean, you couldn't see, it was hard to see out in advance and really tough to see the birds, and I think the wind was going about 35 miles an hour. Some of the birds would get up and they'd fly as hard as they could, but really weren't making any progress, but neither were we.
I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of this. Tough shooting for shotgunners, tougher for photographer.
Tell you about that Monday. We should have stayed in the lodge, is what I should tell you. It was an experience for everybody.
I have a feeling we're just pushing birds. And deer! We know they're in here. We're just pushing them.
Finally, we drop a rooster. On this day, it ain't for a lack of trying. Up next, the weather and the birds really sock in our hunt. Funny how things change. Just this morning, our South Dakota landscape looked like this. A couple hours later, big time change. It's almost like Mother Nature's got a message for us. Although I'm not quite sure what she's trying to say. While the weather continues to flop, our first day of bird hunting slowly but surely improves.
So it's progressively getting better. We think this area has just a couple of birds in it. Let's see what happens. Rooster! Everyone always asks us, what are our secret spots? Where do we go? Cannon River Ranches. That's where we take our buddies.
We walk the ranch's High Plains pheasant fields, birdie habitat full of both wild and released birds.
That looks like a Sharpie. Sharpie, Sharpie!
Thing is, even though we flush plenty of roosters, it seems very few shots actually hit their intended targets. What gives? Like that, attitudes go cold.
What do you want? It's been a rough day. Wind blowing them pretty fast. Hopefully they can catch up with some birds this trip.
Tough words coming from the guide.
South Dakota is handing it to us right now. Woo! Hey, you gotta love it.
Jesse Treble. He's new guy walking snow on his very first South Dakota hunt.
It is, yes.
And already, South Dakota leaves Jesse with an impression.
It's just a lot of fun. Couldn't have nicer weather.
What are you talking about?
I've been hearing about it for years, so it's just great to be here finally.
You sure?
Kind of sure. We knew we were going to get this today. Rumor is tomorrow it's going to let up.
But not before we leave a field that gets hot.
Oh, look at that, it's a big buck.
You can have some great days and you can have some bad days like we experienced this weekend.
Dog out point right here. Rooster! 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 Good shot, Cole. Look at your beard, man. All you can do is laugh. Earn.
With such tough conditions, harvesting a couple of birds becomes a big deal.
Rooster!
I take aim after several guys miss.
He's gonna go! He's gonna go! Dad, see what? You got him! Well, that was cool. What do you think? That was fun. That was really fun. Old Mother Nature can't beat us after all. She's trying. She's trying.
With near blizzard conditions, we call day one complete.
The conditions were awesome. It's probably something that you would maybe see once or twice in a lifetime.
That's one word to describe this hunt. Sometimes adventures become more about the who and the where versus exactly what. Maybe that's why we're so happy just hanging out at High Plains on a cold, snowy South Dakota evening.
It's a fantastic place to come. You can spend time, with family, with friends. There's a warm place to come home to. It's got all the conveniences of home to be here, play games. It's just a great home base from which you can hunt.
Okay, so our South Dakota adventure here at Cannon River's High Plains started off in the worst way. Wind-whipped snow, cold, and, okay, a good old-fashioned blizzard. However, the next day, what didn't blow away in the blizzard was the ever-present optimism of two of the most inexperienced bird hunters in our group.
The agenda today is to shoot some pheasants. The girls are going to show the boys how it's really done. Hopefully.
Well, what they say is true. There ain't a damn tree. Wind blows here a lot.
Meet Laura Schara, TV personality and daughter to the fella that hangs around with Raven the Black Lab.
Go hunt them up, Raven. Hunt 'em up.
Laura has bagged ringnecks before, but was anxious to prove it was no fluke.
I would say the conditions are just slightly better than yesterday.
And this is Katie Schachner, a company colleague who is also an absolute first-time shotgunner, starting with her hunter safety course.
I did this in 45 days. I learned how to do all this. And then it's practice, practice, practice.
While the rest of us were more experienced bird hunters, we all had the same goal, to watch Katie bag her very first ringneck.
This is the first gun I've ever shot. This is a Frankie. Real good, very easy to handle. Oh my God. That was my chance and I missed it. Next time.
Maybe that first bird will take a little longer than we thought. Too late, Katie. Passing up shots, Katie said she was more concerned about safety than getting that first bird. Meanwhile, Laura finally dropped her first ringneck of the hunt.
And I have restored faith in my father that I can shoot a pheasant.
I didn't know if she was related to me or not because it took her a long time to get a pheasant.
It's always good fun. And when you have your dad out there in the pheasant field with you and he's yelling at you a few times for missing a bird and then he misses a few, it's all right.
Not that the rest of us were dazzling wing shooters. And we can't say there weren't plenty of chances.
The hen had a long tail.
Katie up there.
Katie, this is your turn, sweetheart. You know, we send her in, we had one dog on point, and we're sending poor Katie in to have the dog flush it in front of 18 guys or 15 guys, how many we had, and that's a lot of pressure. But you know, she'll get it. She's gonna hit a bird. I know she's gonna get one. For sure she will.
Yes, but not this time. Okay, time to regroup. One half of our challenge had been met.
So here, this is the pheasant that I shot out in the field. I personally feel it's one of the most beautiful birds out there, but it's also the one that tastes the best. Pheasant soup, here we come. We actually had a really good walk through that. It's kind of a grassy marsh area, and it wasn't very big, but there certainly were a lot of birds sitting there. And I had one take a sharp right behind the group, and it flew behind me, so I took a shot, and down she went. See, Dad? I can shoot a pheasant.
Good girl, good girl. Daddy is proud of you. But what about Katie? We'll take a break and return to see if good fortune smiles on another Lady Nimrod.
Who's gonna shoot a Katie?
Okay, the pressure is mounting here in the bird-rich fields at High Plains. One day to go. Could Katie do it?
Poor Katie, the guys are giving her a hard time. I think I was on the sidelines as her, you know, giving her as much encouragement as possible, because it's not easy. When you're hunting in big groups and it's your first time hunting, it's really intimidating.
We also have a first-time pheasant hunter here who Bill, you did really good. I told Katie, you know, we all laughed because the pheasant flew towards her, made a perfect shot, and she hit the ground. Katie, you're a real trooper for being here. She'd never hunted pheasants before. It's obvious, but Katie, here's to you, honey. You really are a trooper. And Katie will be a pheasant slayer someday because she has what it takes.
The speech is over. Back in the field, Katie remained determined. Laura, too, had her moments.
What is this? What is that? Is it a rooster? Wrong way. That was not my bird. Oh, how did I miss that? Darn it! Well, that's called hunting.
Here it comes.
Dad, I'm loading my gun. You see that one go down?
As our final day of hunting was winding down, we invented a new plan for Katie and Laura.
We're on the afternoon hunt now, so kind of broke into a smaller group. My arm's starting to get sore because we've done, I suppose we've walked probably 4 or 5 miles today. The gun has no problem. The problem is there is a missing issue. Clearly, I'm not lining the target up. You almost have to be ready at all times because they're going to come and it's going to come up fast.
But not always. Hey, Raven, what did you find?
Laura got it!
Yeah! Woo woo! You know what I did? The follow through. Good job, Raven. All right, there's a beauty.
Well, we got one, but you know, we should have had the other one too. Katie, you're like slow motion there.
From carry position to ready position is delayed.
We all knew Katie would eventually learn, and someday that first bird would fall.
Darn. Raven, here. That I should have had.
It was low. Apparently, I must not have been lined up all the way. Like, the dot didn't line up with my eye. It looked good. Like, it felt good, really good. There's more.
Hey, watch this, Katie. Missing ringnecks is easy.
Even the professionals miss.
Meanwhile, Raven kept hunting, birds kept flying, and Katie kept, well, you know the rest.
Missed all 3 times, ran out of shells, had to run back over here to get some shells from Marv. Run back, shot some more. I'm shooting at least.
I got some shooting and I got some missing.
And so we come to the end of the field, so to speak. Katie will have to wait for her first ringneck, but our story still has a happy ending.
The fact is that she's out here making the effort, and she's taking the fear out of it and getting out here and doing it. And that's the only way you learn. You have to go through the learning curve. It's just the way it is. So I'm proud of her.
This is the best damn thing I've ever done in my life.